We are live. Welcome to SEMA 2022. We are again at the Racing Junk booth, and we're pretty excited to sit down and chat with Big Al. Al, tell us a little about who you are and what you do with Racing Junk.
Oh boy. My name's Al Liebmann. I've been with Racing Junk for 3 years, and my job is to sell classifieds to customers and dealers that we have here. You know, a great spot for us on Racing Junk, also for shows we do in PRI and stuff like that.
Okay.
My relationship with a lot of these places I've had for many, many years. Been around mostly drag racing.
Okay.
Over 40 plus years.
Right.
Probably 20 years in hot rodding, muscle cars. But most of the time, I go back 20 years to Hot Rod Hotline. So if people are familiar with Hot Rod, I've been taking pictures of them for 20 years, at car shows, whatever. So I've taken probably over 500,000 pictures of different shows and stuff like that. So I'm busy with that.
You drive my favorite Mustang 2 funny car.
That's correct, the Frantic Fords.
Fords.
I got a 32 Ford 5-window steel coupe. I'm involved with Run to the Sun, which is a big car show in Myrtle Beach, which is kind of unique. It happens in March. 3,200 cars at an empty, abandoned mall parking lot. It's like 4 blocks long, a couple blocks from the beach.
Holds a lot of cars.
Holds a lot of cars. 3,200. They usually get about 30,000 people.
Wow.
Plus, we do a radio show called In the Pits Media. We talk about racing and rodding. It's from Myrtle Beach, WRNN. I think that's about it.
Wow.
I'm leaving tonight to be inducted into the East Coast Drag Racing Hall of Fame in North Carolina.
Make sure you mention that you know me.
Yes, okay. Will I get an extra drink?
You will.
Okay.
You will. You will. My name plus $1, it'll get you coffee.
But this year, SEMA, you know, I look at it from last year, and last year was kind of bleak, a lot of open spots.
Right. It's filling up.
It's filling up. Definitely yesterday was the banner day.
Right.
Tuesday was very crowded. A lot of unique builds. A lot of C10 trucks. We're seeing more and more of them.
Lots of squares, not just 67 to 72. A lot of squares.
Yep. The F trucks are coming out now. Because how much can you do with the Chevy?
Right.
Or they're all gone.
Right.
You know, we talk about the Blazers. I had a Blazer growing up. It's the biggest junk box in the world. It rusted, whatever. And I'm looking at Blazers here where the guys have $150,000, $200,000 into them.
Yeah.
So you know, it's still a big market. You know, different Firebirds I've seen, stuff like that. I went outside. Of course, I saw the big trucks with the big tires and stuff like that.
Right. The largest wheel that we saw was a 42-inch
Really?
aluminum wheel, and I had to take a picture of it. It was ridiculous. That's a small New York apartment.
I want to know how the ride is. I mean, that, you know.
I don't.
I won't be driving it.
I won't be driving it.
Well, it's funny because you look at the big trucks out there.
Right.
Fortunately, North Carolina, South Carolina, we call it the Jersey squat, whatever, where the trucks are like this, where they can't see. How do these guys see? Now they're above everything. I mean, I know we have cameras all the way around and stuff like that, but to each his own. How's that?
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's something that we've been seeing around SEMA. This is my first year, so I had no idea what to expect. But I think by the looks of things, it's a great success compared to the past couple of years, obviously. But when you come to SEMA, you see a lot of really unique things. Might not be your taste, but no matter how you look at it, a lot of work goes into these builds. So whether it's the big trucks, the squatted trucks, the European import, stuff like that, these guys put a lot of effort into doing these builds so they can show off their talents right here at SEMA.
Effort and a lot of cash.
Yes.
Yes. What I like, and this happened a couple of years, probably 8-9 years ago, I like the tone-on-tone colors. So I like the dark with kind of like the dark wheel. The matte finish, not really, but kind of has a good sheen and even flow to it. I hate to see a guy with a rat rod and they put clear coat on it, but it's bright clear. Right. And it makes it look
shiny, rusty car.
You know, Port 15 is one of my dealers, one of my sponsors. Right. And they make a matte clear. You can't even tell it's even on the car. I mean, it's, and that's the way I think it should be. If you want your car or your truck to look old, and you'll take a grinder to it, you'll buff it up and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Make it look presentable the way it should look.
So what is your favorite? I know you have a certain taste, and I know you've seen a lot of different builds.
Right.
Do you have a favorite here?
Well, there's a few. So Glenn's car, of course, which is a grade 8. We became friends at, and also a racing junk dealer. Become last year at Detroit.
Okay.
Well, the winner, which is a 31 Chevy, which is all the way up front, which looks like a Ford.
Right, I saw
Bruce from Pro Comp Customs, another racing junk dealer. That's always one of my favorites. Very unique, twin turbos in the front. Ring Brothers came out with a truck. I forgot what year it is. Green. It made the Builders Showcase.
Right.
Phenomenal job for the Ring Brothers. Ring Brothers are always on top of everything. In my opinion, this thing took it way, way, way over the top. There was a Ford Pinto wagon. There's a couple of them.
The cruising wagon.
Yes.
I saw it.
So there's one downstairs, another one there. There was a van. Gooseby Customs, I think, did it, which is kind of unique. My friend Chris Ryan has a Firebird up front, and Ron Francis is called the something mullet. I have to get that what it is. But that's always one of my favorites because I've seen Chris when he built that car, when he started to build it, and it's just over the top for a Firebird. I was never a big Smoking the Bandit Firebird type of guy, but the way his looks with all the custom trees is perfect.
I have two favorites here, and oddly, they're both built by Hills Hot Rods. One is Jeffrey, the yellow crew cab.
Yes, so
the 67 crew cab.
I walked by it and I stopped 4 times and took 3 different pictures.
Right. And you know what it is and what it started out as and what it is now. And okay,
just the look. I'm not a big yellow fan guy, but
it's a giant school bus.
It looks. No, I don't think it's a school bus. I think it looks better than a school bus.
I think it looks fantastic.
Just the way the thing sits, how low it sits. He has air ride, whatever.
Get it?
It just has a great look, great stance, short bed on it too.
Right.
Not a long bed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. First thing I noticed was the flat door frames.
Yes.
They're not sculpted. They're not sculpted at all like a regular stock C10.
Yep.
There's a lot of little stuff. Gaps are tightened up. If you know anything about those C10s, they fit like socks on a rooster.
Yep.
It is terrible. My other favorite truck here is there's a dark green with a light green insert, and it's another Hills Hot Rods.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is sitting outside. It's a square.
Okay. Oh, I think I saw that. Was it outside when you go out the door?
Yes.
In the front around there?
It's amongst all the other Brodozer giant trucks.
Okay.
And it sits over by the burn box, and it a burn. What is it? What's it called? The burn yard.
Yeah, I don't know what
I believe it was barnyard, but anyway, but it's sitting outside, and it has the right look, the right wheel, the right interior, the street rod. Careful planning of that truck makes it very understated. You'd walk past it because it's very. The colors on it are terrible, but it's fantastic. Dark green, light green, very muted, very understated. I love it. One of my favorites
Did you
here.
see the great Corvair?
Yes.
You walk right by that thing, you know it's Corvair.
Yeah.
You have no idea what the thing is powered by.
Right.
But another car
That car, I thought, is the whole body was carbon.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is, it's the first time I've ever seen one of those.
Why the hell somebody would make a carbon fiber
Corvair? I know.
I don't know.
I don't, and most of the Corvairs that are out there are the purest Corvair guys.
Sure.
So they're not going to do anything to change what they have.
Right.
Another star car that's outside, people walk by, is the Baskerville Coupe. So great.
Oh, I took so many pictures of that. I even signed up to get my little pin.
Pin? Okay.
Oh, man.
So I know Gray. I met him years ago. People see that car and they see my 32. Even though it's kind of different, they kind of call mine the Baskerville 5-window.
Coupe, yours has the same attitude.
Right. If you look at the front grille, it's kind of white, whatever. I have more patches than he does on it.
Right.
And I did meet the owner. He goes, I know you. You're the guy with the 5-window. I said, yep. But that's a historic, traditional piece that just when you look at it.
A lot of people walk past that car and go, what is that old junker with some primer spots on it?
Yeah.
Nobody looks at it.
Nobody's called it a rat rod.
Right. Oh, God help them.
Oh, I know.
Well, I come in here and I'm always of the odd entries, but I keep getting drawn into things like over in the North Hall, there's that red 57 lowrider with the 14-inch tires.
Right. Yes.
I love the Tri-5 Chevys. Don't get me wrong, but when I walk by that thing, it's like, okay, you got to stop and take it all in.
Right.
There's a lot of detail in there. There's engraving in the bumpers. You know, the custom interior, and it's just I get drawn in, and I walk around and you see a Corvair, and you think, okay, well, I appreciate that almost as much. And the C10s, like I'm a big C10 guy. You know, I own a 77, and you look into some of that older stuff, and there's just you see one, you think it's a great build. You move on to the next one,
There's
it's
another
even
one.
better.
There's another one.
There's just always something to top it off.
Well, you know, C10s, I'm not sure if they made the highest mark, because now the Fords, you know, the F100s, they're starting to come in.
Yeah, the dent side and the bullet side 60s and 70s trucks are coming out strong.
I mean, you talk about C10s, there's a car show group out of Tennessee. They do a lot of C10 trucks.
Right.
C10 Nationals, whatever. I think it's
Yes.
somewhere.
Yep. Goodlettsville.
Yes. But the guy who runs the show.
Like a steel trap. That's broken.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
They're bringing C10s to Myrtle Beach to a show that they do there, where they expect another at least 500 C10s there.
Yes, that show is growing.
Yeah.
And I went the past few times, and it's an awesome show.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible
And
show.
there just seems to be, we talked just briefly about the Ford trucks.
Right.
You know, there's more and more companies who are catering not just to the Chevy stuff, because that's the stuff that's just been pushing for years. You know, you got AMD. You know, they're really starting to reproduce a lot of these big ticket panels, cabs, even full cabs for certain trucks. So you're getting to a point where, you know, if you're a Ford lover and you don't want to go out and buy a late model, you know, like a flare style front end, whatever it is, you can now get into the older stuff knowing I can customize this a little bit now.
Right.
I can work on it. I can buy the door, the panel, the tailgate, the whatever, and your options are just so much more broad today than even what they were just 5 years ago with these F100 trucks and the early trucks.
Well, did you see the Blazer that's up front for United Pacific, the blue and white one?
Yes.
I mean,
whoa.
I'm not sure how much room we have between
I
the
don't
bottom
think
of
you
the
could reach
door.
your hand in there.
It's on the floor. Yeah,
But I like
ridiculous.
when those guys do, when not United Pacific, with somebody in general with like the C10 deals, when they do with like a regular solid color wheel and whatever's the accident, that's it. You know, to put 24s, 26s, 30s on it, I think it draws away. I think it's just like a tone on tone, a white wheel on a blue or red or something very simple. I think that's the way to go on a truck like that.
What you were talking about, the replacement bodies and things, I saw there was an offshore company that was here. They had a full aftermarket body for a Toyota Land Cruiser.
Yes.
Like a full body. And they had a catalog that they have other bodies for other JDM cars and other vehicles from the 70s. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
Craziness.
the Land Cruiser market, it's off the wall. There's a couple
crazy.
places outside of outside of North Charleston. It's all they do is Land Cruisers.
Yeah.
It's all they do. Guys from England bring them over. They're done over here and they're sent back.
And it's not just, there's not just one or two of these Land Cruisers around the show this year. Of course, my first year here, I really got nothing to compare it to other than the pictures I've seen from previous years. But you walk around here, there's got to be at least a dozen of those things kicking around here.
I
in
was just
different
going to say
stages.
that because I went outside, I counted 9.
Yeah.
And I didn't make it all. I didn't make it to the back and all the way to the dub area. I counted 9. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Yep. And I think that when you start looking at those things, you know, deep pockets, you know, this isn't just your, you know, Chevy C10 that they made 15 million of over a 15-year period. This is something that is well sought after.
Yep.
They didn't bring as many to the U.S. as there are around the world.
Right.
So the ones you've got are the ones you've got, unless you're importing right-hand drives. So, you know, prepare to double down on the price.
Right.
And, you know, we're sitting here in the Racing Junk booth, so if you guys are listening to this or you're watching this right now, you know, make sure you're checking out racingjunk.com for those unique parts.
We do have, every once in a while, we do have guys with Land Rovers and Land Cruisers. They do show up every once in a while.
Yeah.
So we, you know, we get the oddities, which is great.
When all else fails, they're out there, but you got to be looking everywhere. And racingjunk.com should be your first spot.
Well, I've had a ton of fun here, and I love talking to you, Al. you're always a wealth of information and always an excellent guest. So
Well, thank you very much for having me on the
Thanks,
show.
Al.
I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Okay.
Speed over to our friends at racingjunk.com and sign up for a Pro Club membership. Use the code GETOUT to receive a discount when you sign up for a Pro Club membership.
You know, Jason, we sure get to talk a lot.
Yes, and some of us more than others.
Who, me?
I'm not pointing any fingers.
Yes, you are. But we want to hear from our listeners. Just go to our website, Get.Out.N.Drive.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click the listener hotline button. We want to hear from you. Cool stories, breakdown stories,
Questions, comments,
hate mail,
even hate mail?
even hate mail. You got a car show in your area? Let us know.
Tell us an interesting story.
Let us know what you like to get out and drive.
Cruise on over to our website, Get.Out.N.Drive.com, for all the info you never wanted to know about our podcast. Hit us up on our listener hotline, be the first to know what's happening, get industry news, and grab your Get Out and Drive merch. Connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow us on Twitter at Get.Out.N.Drive.Pod. What drives you?